So on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot are the following coaches' seats? So we just talked about him. We'll start off with Doug Peterson. He hasn't won a game since Thanksgiving. Won one playoff game. He's 18-19 with the Jags.
Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, we set a scale of 10 to 10. 10.
150.
This is. I mean, if I could give a number higher than 10, I'd give that number. It's
up to you.
It's done. It's cooked. Doug Peterson shouldn't have a job. Hopefully, by the time we release this TikTok, he doesn't have a job. Respectfully.
unless he finds a new job relatively quickly.
He's rich that
he goes to
like,
Home Depot or something. I'm sure Home Depot's hiring.
He has so much money.
Yeah,
it's fine.
he's cool.
Yeah, for the sake of his livelihood, I would hope he has a job. But in terms of football, I hope he gets canned.
He's well taken care of. I think he's well off.
1 to 10.
That thing's bursted into flames, and like it's ash now. Like it is over. It's a 10. It's a 11. It's a 50. It's over.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson era in Jacksonville is done. And it's what, Josh Hart got a jersey tonight, actually. His uncle apparently used to play for the Yankees. And it's scorching. It's over. Doug Peterson is done. And as he should be, like, look, you got to call it what it is. Like, I understand. Like, look, I want everyone to have a job. I want every single person to have a job. If everyone in the world could be an NFL head coach, I would approve of that. That'd be great. But that's not the case. Doug Peterson is not one of the 32 anymore that should have an NFL head coaching gig. And it's that simple. Jacksonville may be better off without him. So,
all right. The next name I have up here is the Dallas Cowboys' Mike McCarthy. He's 43-27 in the regular season with the Cowboys. 1-3. Next coach I have here is Mike McCarthy. He's 43-27 as a coach of the Cowboys in the regular season. He's 1-3 in the playoffs, and he was just brought back after a brutal loss to the Packers in the playoffs.
I mean, I'll get this one started. One of my hot takes was that Mike McCarthy would basically be fired because the Dallas Cowboys have a massive in-season collapse. Look, I'm just saying, if they do lose this Thursday to our boys, it's over.
Yeah,
McCarthy's getting canned.
You can't come back from.
He won't survive the week because it's 2 L's in 4 days. And losing to the Giants at this point after you've never lost to them since Dak's first game, basically. In games that Dak Prescott has played, you haven't lost since his first game ever as a pro. Bro, he's going to get fired. And look, I think if they win this week, obviously, things push on and
he
move
lives
forward.
another week.
He lives another week. I think if I'm giving a number on it, I think it's like a 7.3 with the potential in about 72 hours to be a scorching 85.
7.3.
So
it's got to be like ideal,
Yeah. I'm not giving rookie scores here. So it's tough because Mike McCarthy kind of deserves the benefit of the doubt with what he's done in the regular season with the Cowboys. But because it's not like he's the only coach in recent memory with the Cowboys that can't win in the playoffs. Like, he's not. He's simply not the only coach that this situation has happened to. So I think he deserves a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But I only think there's one coach that could go in there and handle the job of being the Dallas Cowboys head coach at this point and turning this organization around. And he's on the Pat McAfee show every Monday.
I was going to say, I don't know how true those rumblings were that he wanted to coach there, but he looks happy as shit on TV.
He looks so happy.
So I don't think he's leaving.
I think he's done.
Yeah,
I think he's done. Vrabel's the other one that makes sense as a culture setter, but McCarthy, as of right now, 7.3. After Thursday, we could be having a totally different conversation. And I hope we're having a totally different conversation.
Yep.
Like a 5. Oh, they didn't extend him this offseason. I think they it was his one last ride. It was get everyone paid, give him one more shot at it. I mean, we talk about it with the Cowboys. The shit don't matter to the playoffs. Obviously, right now, as things stand, they wouldn't be a playoff team, but we're 3 weeks into the season. There's a long time to go. I think they didn't make a move at head coach this offseason with, like, full intention of him being the coach for the rest of the season. So I still think they're a playoff team right now. I think they should be able to win enough games and find their way in. And when they inevitably lose in the playoffs, he'll get fired at the end of the season. But I think
You think he survives for sure?
I think he's going to survive.
Even if they lose.
I mean, if they lose to the Giants, yeah, but like I'm not a Giant fan. I'm not going to come up here and act like that's some type of real possibility. I don't think it's that real. I think the Cowboys should bounce back.
Crazy.
I mean, I still think the Giants suck. So that's a.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We've lost to 2 teams so far this year. One of them's 3-0, and the other one's 2-1. And we would have beat the 2-1 one if we had a kicker. So, just saying, Giants are the real deal.
No,
we're not.
Anyway, I'm looking here.
Even if you guys lose, even if they lose to the Giants, so like I don't think their playoff chances are cooked after that. Honestly.
Oh no, they'll lose. He will lose the locker room. I think. I genuinely think he will lose. Like
potentially, that's it.
I just think like there's not another.
I just think.
Like, what do you do if you fire McCarthy?
I don't know.
I don't know. I just don't think you have another option. You know?
I think it's like, it's unfortunately the truth. Though, like you're already seeing CD get into it on the sideline, and that's just being a competitive like person in a losing effort.
Diva
like,
wide receiver, but okay.
I totally get that, but like.
Well, yeah, there
were already issues heading into
yeah,
the
they're
season?
just dumb for allowing there to be issues, though. You were basically, I mean, Dak got signed, right? But literally as week 1 was starting.
Yeah, the problems definitely don't start or end with McCarthy.
You were going into the season with your coach on the last year of his deal, and then these 3 players who none of them got paid, and they all wanted to get paid. So, like, you were going into the season with problems.
No, I agree.
But I don't know.
Magnified since
I just think, though, if Mike McCarthy was going to get canned for this year, like they would have done it and had an off season to prepare for that.
But I also don't think Jerry even goes into the season thinking there's a shot they're 1-3, like not even in the slightest bit. And that's where the difference lies for me, because it's like Jerry has no regular season success. What do you mean?
I don't know how you could.
We're talking about Jerry Jones here.
No, I know, but hold on. He didn't. I don't think he went into the season like there's no chance we're gonna be 1-2 right now.
I don't know about that.
I mean, he probably
agree.
he was probably pretty confident, but like, it's the NFL.
Jerry
like
Jones thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
They said they couldn't afford Derrick Henry.
But I mean, Jerry Jones has been alive. I understand the Cowboys have problems, but like Jerry Jones has been alive for how long now? I'm sure he I'm sure he knew it was a possibility they could start 1-2, but I'm sure he also knows it's a possibility that the season's far from cooked for them. And for this team, if they were 1-2 or if they were 3-0 right now, we'd still be saying nothing matters until this team gets to the playoffs.
I agree.
1-2, it's
vibes
possible.
are a different story when you're 3-0 and 1-2.
I do agree that like Jerry is also the type to say like it's never over. Like he'll be 0-4 and think they can still.
Because that's also, you're not gonna go to any press conference as a member of the team in any situation. Okay, if they lose to the fucking Giants, you know what he's gonna get up and say? He's going to go ahead and say this is a disgrace to the Cowboys. He's like, there is no reason for us to be one.
Yeah, the same thing he said.
Tell me that's a good thing,
right?
No,
but
of course not.
I'm sure he's going to say the same things he said after they lost in the playoffs last year. And guess what? Mike McCarthy's still the head coach. You know what I'm saying?
It's less embarrassing to lose in the playoffs than to lose to the Giants and be one.
Oh my God, no. Yes.
What do you mean?
Wait, getting blown out by a team you were favored to beat is better than losing to the Giants?
You're going.
Yeah, but
you are the Dallas Cowboys, and every year you look at it and say, "Listen to me. Hold up. Let me finish."
Wait, what is the argument here?
Let me just it is more embarrassing for the Cowboys right now if they lose Thursday night than that playoff game they lost.
I don't agree.
So 2 things. 1, I don't agree regardless, but 2, let's talk about the Cowboys being 1-2, not 1-3.
I'm saying if.
I know, but why are we even let's talk about the Cowboys now.
Well, already they're falling apart.
Right. So are you saying that being 1-2 right now is more embarrassing than losing the way they lost?
That's not what I said.
So 1-3 though.
Yes.
It's more embarrassing than getting.
But it's the fashion of which you lose. You haven't lost to the Giants. In the Dak Prescott era when he's been playing.
Gotta understand though, like in technicality,
I'm a Giant fan, and I'm saying it's fucking embarrassing if they lose to us Thursday night.
Listen. In technicality, yes, losing to the Giants is more It's worse than losing to another playoff team. Yes, but what's more embarrassing in 2024 in this world of media? It's losing in the Like you're going to be more embarrassed losing in the playoffs because everyone's watching, like everyone's talking about.
They got
that.
killed in the playoffs.
Yeah, they
against a team they were supposed to beat.
There,
like,
yeah. If
it's
Mike McCarthy was going to get canned, trust me, like they had enough to fucking can him.
I was shocked he still had a job.
We all were.
1 and 2 sucks, but shit, like they had enough to can him
That's
already.
what I was gonna like. That's the point I was gonna make. Is their season was over when they didn't fire McCarthy in the offseason.
Yeah, like I don't have expectations.
I don't necessarily think it's only McCarthy though.
No, it's definitely not.
There is so, and
I mean, they haven't been to the Super Bowl, and we're gonna talk. That's why we don't have to.
We don't have to fully. Dive into
I mean, now we probably don't need to.
Kind of have.
Yeah, now we already did. So.
There's a lot more that I have to say about those.
All right, so we'll move on. So you're at a 5, you're at a 7.3.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll revisit.
We're like in the middle. I don't know.
I
don't know.
Let's keep going about the Cowboys then. I am just saying 1 and 3, not 1 and 2. 1 and 2 right now is whatever. You win Thursday, everything's fine. It doesn't matter because you know what? You beat the Giants. You're 2 and 2 now. You're 500, and at that point, you're a half game back from the Eagles in the division, right? Okay, you lose to the Giants on Thursday night. I understand how loud it got in the playoffs last year. Like after the playoffs, your season's now over. It doesn't matter. You now have to deal with, if you lose to the Giants on Thursday night, the rest of your season after that moment where your locker room is likely to just be a powder keg and blow up at this point because you're already getting CD acting up. You got Micah who has his own fucking podcast who talks about anything and everything. You have Mike McCarthy who should have been canned in the first place, and I think everybody knows this, and now it's in the middle of the season, and you've lost twice in embarrassing fashion, getting the brakes beat off you and then trying to come back in the fourth quarter. And then you lose to the Giants for the first time since Dak's first game.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's a massive embarrassment.
Right. I think we talk about that when it happens, though.
Yeah, I know.
The odds are they're not going to lose to the Giants. So
that is what the sports books are saying.
That's what the odds are. Yeah. I mean,
we were going to get the brakes beat off us by Cleveland.
Okay, bro.
So just
in
Cleveland.
Okay, but like
the dog pound.
Right. So you can talk about that because they beat the Browns. You can talk about it in hindsight. We'll talk about the Cowboys losing to the Giants when they lose to the Giants. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that word.
Sure. I mean, I hope they do. I want nothing more than to see the Giants ruin the Cowboys. But
yeah, I mean, if
that would be the greatest.
Yeah, it would.
If they're 1 and 3, like there will definitely be noise about Mike McCarthy getting fired, and they'll be all up in the media, and it'll be embarrassing. But we just saw the same thing all offseason. Like they just got embarrassed, and Mike McCarthy being fired was in the news all offseason. So I don't know if they.
I agree. I think if he didn't get fired after that playoff loss, I don't think he gets fired in the middle of the season.
I think it was very clearly from what their actions were this offseason, kind of one last ride of what they currently have going. Obviously they brought back Dak and CD, but there's when they inevitably lose, if they even make the playoffs, but they're not going to win anything. Like when they inevitably lose and are eliminated, there's going to be massive changes.
Right.
Like Mike McCarthy is not going to be the coach next year, and there's going to be massive changes from everyone who's not named Dak and Sedarius Lamb.
And Mike.
Everyone who's not named Dak and CeeDee Lamb as of right now. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't know about Micah.
Oh boy.
I think they're gonna probably restart, not restart, but really retool this thing from the ground. You have to.
I think Mike is gonna want out too. I think he wants to play with Stroud or go to Philly.
Houston.
That's what I'm saying.
Philly.
Yeah, I think they're it was. To me, it was very clearly like a one last ride type of thing. That's why I just don't.
I would agree. Yeah.
I don't
Texas
think
has no state income tax.
Mike McCarthy's going to get fired. That's why I think it's a 5. Again, if they lose games they're not supposed, it's the Cowboys. If they lose, even if they were fucking 3-0 and they lost to the Giants and were 3-1, I'm not saying it would be as amplified. But if they were 3-0 and lost to the Giants, people would still talk about Mike McCarthy getting fired the next day. Yeah, honestly, just because it's embarrassing. Giants. Yes, but again, this is all hypothetical. Losing to the Giants, at the end of the day, just losing to the Giants, regardless, is embarrassing for any team.
Okay,
that's true.
All right, you need to relax. Okay,
you need
to relax.
It's true. No one should lose to the Giants.
Danny Dimes is he is arrived. Okay, he has arrived. You guys need to relax.
And I hope he gets fucking deported.
Yeah, but it's a 5 for Mike McCarthy.
Fuck. All right, what other coaches?
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
His real name's not CD.
No, it's Sedarius. Yeah,
I think it's Darius.
it's Sedarius. Yeah.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Why he's called CD? Sedarius. CD.
All right. So the next coach on this list is that's wrong. The coach of the Chicago Bears, Matt Eberflus. He's 11-26 with the Bears.
Like a 4.
Yeah,
Like about a 4. I
I'm
don't
giving
know.
it. I'm giving it like a 3.2.
Do you think he should lose?
I don't
or you just
think
don't think
he
he's
should
going
get
to?
canned because the thing that you brought Eberflus in for is one of the best in the entire league.
Yeah.
The defense has not been the problem.
Right.
You need to try to go out there, and this is your issue as a head coach. You need to go out there and find the right offensive coordinator. If you were to get canned for not being able to do that, then you know what? Fine, I totally get that. His problem is not his side of the ball. He needs to find a capable offensive coordinator that's not Shane Waldron. It is Shane Waldron,
It is
right?
Shane Waldron, yes.
Like, what is their offense, dude? It's not only that their O-line is kind of incompetent at the current moment, and I don't think any of this really should fall too heavily on Eberflus's shoulders. Their defense is one of the best in the league. Like, it's just that simple for me.
Yeah, I think their expectations kind of temper a little bit with the Bears. They kind of just aren't the team we thought they were. And that's okay. They're still a young group. They still have a lot of pieces that are going to develop over time. But
Well, what did we think they were?
I mean,
it depends
a
on who you
lot
ask.
of people thought they were going to compete for a playoff spot, and they're probably not going to do that.
People had them in the Super Bowl.
I mean, just one person, Nick Wright. Like, we could call him by his name. It was just Nick Wright.
Big dummy.
Yeah,
Big
it was
fucking dumbass.
it was just Nick
Good old
Wright.
Nick Wright.
But yeah, no, like you mentioned, the defense has been incredible. I think I do still believe this offense is going to come along. They're not going to be an elite offense by the end of the season. I'm not saying that, but I think they're going to. I mean, each week so far they've gotten a little better, and I think that trend is going to continue. I think just weekly they're going to get a little bit better. I don't think Shane Waldron's the coordinator of the future for this team, but I think Eberflus's job is pretty safe.
Wow. Bro, just hit the fucking foul pole.
Yep.
Tight.
All right, the next coach is the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni. Now, the Eagles started 10-1 last year, as we all know. They ended the season 1-5. They're 12-8 since they went to the Super Bowl, and they lost to the Bucs in the first round of the playoffs last year. And some Eagles fans, although they won against the Saints, were not happy with Nick Sirianni and calling for his job. So where are you guys at?
I honestly think it's a 0. As things stand right now, I just think there's like a 0% chance he gets canned like during the season. Unless they like just go on some insane
Just meltdown.
3-game losing streak, but I just like I don't see that happening. That's why I don't think. I think he's fine. I think they're gonna win a lot of games. He's gonna have his moments. He's another guy who I don't love him as a head coach. I don't know how safe his job is in the future, but as things stand right now, I can't see him getting canned like during the season. I think his seat's pretty cold.
Yeah, I mean, I think his seat is ice cold. I thought
A lot of Eagles fans do not agree with you guys.
But here's
though.
the
Like,
thing,
a lot
like-
of them want him canned.
But and I'm not saying that like they shouldn't want him canned. I'm just saying in terms of where I see it, like as an unbiased fan at the current moment, I don't see them firing him anytime soon, unless, as you said, a serious collapse occurs, and then we're talking about like potentially calling for Sirianni's job. But like as of right now, I mean, they're 2-1. They got the win over the Saints. They should be thankful they did. Sirianni needs to take the points at certain points.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, I don't think he's close to getting fired at this point. I think it'd take a collapse. I'm gonna say like a 1 right now.
Okay.
Because
Eagles
there's a
fans, you hear
slight
that?
possibility.
Eagles fans, you hear that? Just calm down a little bit, all right?
No, he sucks. He's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. The next name I have here, just because they're 0-3, is Brian Callahan. Titans are 0-3, brand new head coach.
0.
0.
I don't think he's gonna get fired. It's not really his fault.
No, I just wanted to bring it up because they were 0-3. I felt like I had to mention it. But yeah. Yeah, I don't think so either. He's a brand new head coach.
The first person that's gonna get fired is the quarterback.
Yeah.
Will Levis is gonna get his ass canned from his starting job.
How have they not benched them yet?
Mason Rudolph was good for the Steelers last year, in case people forget. Mason Rudolph is the backup for the Tennessee Titans, and I think Mason Rudolph will do a better job than Will Levis. Will Levis is going to get fucking canned soon.
I mean, they have.
I like
they have
Callahan,
Miami. Yeah, they
yeah.
play Miami this week. Like that's a winnable game if you know, like if, I don't know if they lose. I mean, they do go into the bye after that, so I think they give Levis one more shot and then go from there. But
Bro, he's just incompetent, man.
the next coach, I don't think there's a real chance of him getting fired, but I do have. There's an interesting point to make. It's John Harbaugh of the Baltimore Ravens. He has the most blown double-digit leads in the fourth quarter of any coach since at least 1991.
Yo, these last two have been real embarrassing.
I mean, they got the W against the Cowboys, but we thought that game was over in the second quarter, and they won by 3.
Bro, so look, it's a 0. This one's absolutely a 0. You give the guy the benefit of the doubt because so consistently they've been one of the best teams in all of football. Have they always gotten it done in the playoffs? No. What does he have? Only one Super Bowl, right? As a head coach, unless he goes back to the 2000s, which I don't think he was coaching at that point. Yeah, I mean, I think Harbaugh gets the benefit of the doubt. He's going to be one of those guys that he's going to have a job there till he wants to call it quits.
Yeah.
So
0.
Yeah, it's a 0 for me. I don't think he's done too much for that culture and that organization.
Sure. This next coach is another coach that may surprise us, but a lot of the fans are calling for this guy's job. Kevin Stefanski of the Cleveland Browns, 2-time Coach of the Year, 37-30 record with the Browns.
You just made the case 0.
Right.
2-time Coach of the Year, 37-30.
If you go on, like, I'm not crazy. If you go on Twitter and all, there are a lot of Browns fans that hate Kevin Stefanski and think he's making Deshaun Watson look terrible.
No.
I swear to God, it's out there. Like, there are people out there who think
the
it's
O-line
Stefanski's fault.
fucking sucks, and Deshaun Watson fucking sucks. So.
Very beat up.
I mean, I just don't. Some people were like using the fact that Joe Flacco. They think Joe Flacco saved Stefanski's job. There are people on Twitter and shit that think Joe Flacco saved his job. It's crazy.
Bro, what in the world is that?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes, Kevin Stefanski is not losing his job.
Can we
He's
just
a great coach.
put Jameson, please?
Yeah, that's all.
That's all. Keep doing this every week.
Yep. All right, and the last name I have here is the coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. They're 0-3, Mr. Zach Taylor. He's 1-11 in the first 2 weeks of the season, 21-15 since making the Super Bowl, and I just thought this was interesting. I don't really think it's that big of a deal, but a record without Joe Burrow as a starter is 4-28-1.
10. And I don't think it's entirely his fault, but 10. I think he's going to get scapegoated, honestly.
Yeah.
I think if there's any change this team could make to, like we mentioned with the Jaguars, to kind of inject some type of new life into them, it's firing Zach Taylor. And I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if it will fix anything or result to more wins. Probably not, but I mean, when you look at it like mid-season, what else can you really do to kind of get some? You're 0-3. Like, you need. It's kind of like us in fantasy. Like, you know, I'm 0-3 in some weeks. Like, at this point, I don't even care if I lose the trade on paper. Like, it's just about any change I could get.
Yeah.
Any change I could get. And I think, like, this is also a problem, these slow starts. Like, yeah, they've been able to overcome in the past, but, like, eventually it was going to come to bite them, and this might be the year where starting 0-3, they're not going to be able to get back in the mix, and it might be too late. I mean, you look at the Steelers at 3-0, you look at that division, like, it might be cooked. So, yeah, I think, you know, if this continues, and I said this in week 1, I was wrong about the Bengals, I was wrong about their defense, and no one's coming through the door on that side of the ball to save them. So if there's going to be any change for this team, it's going to be firing Zach Taylor. So I think he's going to be gone at some point.
You know, I almost wonder, I would give it like an 8.4 at this point, but I almost wonder if Anarumo is going to be the first gone and not Zach Taylor, because that defense has really been so atrocious.
Bro, what do you even want Bro to do?
That's what I was
They don't fucking bring back any of his good players.
That's exactly what I was getting at.
They don't have the personnel.
Like, if anyone's going to get scapegoated, I do think it.
Yeah, I guess.
I think he will be the first to get scapegoated. And the problem with this is, like, you've lost. Now, sorry, B.J. Hill Or no, B.J. Hill is still
DJ
there.
Reader.
DJ Reader, who was with the Bengals, was one of the best defensive tackles in the entire NFL. You lost your entire secondary. And Jesse Bates goes on to become one of the best safeties in the entire league. I think it's ridiculous.
They haven't paid Trey Hendrickson.
No, and they likely won't. He's walking. He's done. He will not sign back with that organization now. And it's ridiculous to me.
T. Higgins is gone. They haven't paid Jamar. They let Joe Mixon go.
We sounded off on the Bengals.
Yeah, I don't have much to say that I haven't already said.
Shit organization. It's another example of that. Shit organizations trickle down eventually.
Yeah, and I don't honestly, like, given, their recent success, honestly, in the past, I don't think ownership in the front office is going to take the blame. That's why I do things.
No, you said it perfectly. 10 out of 10, but he doesn't he should get hired immediately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same with Lou Anarumo. I mean, someone should pick him up.
Yeah, they should, even if it's not as a head coach for Zach Taylor, but he should be on his staff.
Lou Anarumo should have 30 interviews if he gets fired. So
yeah, there are a bunch of teams that could use a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, for sure.
He absolutely deserve it. So yeah, I just think it's an obviously flawed
Staten
roster.
Island legend.